Welcome back to our channel. Ego looks like confidence, but it is not confidence. Ego looks like strength, but it is not strength. Ego is silent destruction. It destroys relationships. It destroys growth. It destroys opportunities. It makes you believe you are always right. It stops you from learning. It stops you from listening. It stops you from improving. Many people fail in life not because they lack talent, but because they cannot control their ego. Ego says, I already know everything. I don't need advice. I will not apologize. I cannot be wrong. But real strength says, I can learn. I can improve. I can accept mistakes. I can grow. In this lesson, we will understand what ego really is, how ego silently ruins success, how to control ego, and how humility creates real power. Because the biggest enemy is not outside you. It is inside you. Let's begin. Lesson 1. What ego really is and why it is dangerous. Many people misunderstand ego. They think ego means confidence. They think ego means self-respect. They think ego means strength. But ego is not confidence. Confidence is calm. Ego is loud. Confidence listens.
Ego interrupts.
Confidence learns. Ego pretends to know everything. Ego is the voice inside you that says, I am better. I cannot be wrong. I don't need advice. I don't need to change. At first, ego feels powerful. It makes you feel important. It protects your pride. But slowly, it becomes dangerous. Very dangerous. The first danger of ego is that it blocks learning. If you believe you already know everything, you stop growing. Growth requires humility. Humility says, I can improve. Ego says, I am already enough. And the moment you stop learning, you start falling behind. The second danger of ego is that it destroys relationships.
Ego refuses to apologize.
Ego refuses to accept mistakes. Ego turns small arguments into big conflicts. Instead of saying, I was wrong, ego says, you are wrong. This creates distance. Distance destroys connection. Strong relationships require humility.
Ego builds walls.
The third danger of ego is that it creates insecurity. This may surprise you, but ego often hides insecurity. When someone criticizes you, ego reacts strongly. Why? Because it feels threatened. A confident person does not feel attacked easily. But an ego-driven person takes everything personally. Ego makes you defensive. Defensive mindset blocks growth. Another powerful truth. Ego makes success temporary. When people achieve something, ego whispers, you are superior now. You don't need advice. You are above others. But success requires consistency. Consistency requires learning. Learning requires humility. Ego interrupts that cycle. Ego also creates comparison. It constantly compares you to others. It wants validation. It wants to win every argument. It wants to prove something. But proving yourself constantly is exhausting. Real power does not need to prove. Real strength is quiet. Another danger of ego is overconfidence without preparation. Ego says, I can handle this. Without effort. Without practice. Without discipline. Then failure happens. And ego feels hurt. Humility prepares.
Ego assumes.
Preparation builds success. Assumption builds regret. Also understand this. Ego makes you ignore feedback. Feedback is uncomfortable. But feedback improves performance. Ego sees feedback as insult. Humility sees feedback as opportunity. Opportunity creates progress. Ego also prevents collaboration. When you think you are always right, you do not value other ideas. But teamwork requires openness. Openness requires ego control. Remember this clearly. Ego feels strong, but it is fragile. Confidence is stable. Ego reacts quickly. Confidence responds calmly. Ego seeks attention. Confidence attracts respect. Ego says, I must win. Wisdom says, I must grow. If you want long-term success, You must recognize ego early. You must observe your reactions. You must question your pride. Because the greatest enemy is not outside competition. It is internal arrogance. Control your ego, or it will control your future. Lesson 2. How ego silently destroys success. Ego does not destroy your life in one day. It works slowly, silently, step by step. At first, it feels like confidence. It feels like pride. It feels like strength. But slowly, it starts damaging your progress. The first way ego destroys success is by stopping improvement. When you achieve something small, ego whispers, "You are already great. You don't need more effort. You are better than others." And slowly, you reduce your hunger. You stop practicing. You stop learning. You stop improving. But success requires constant growth. The moment you think you know everything, you stop evolving. And when you stop evolving, others move ahead. The second way ego destroys success is by rejecting feedback. Feedback feels uncomfortable. Sometimes it hurts. But feedback shows blind spots.
Ego hates blind spots.
Ego says, they are wrong. They are jealous. They don't understand me. So you ignore advice. You ignore correction. You ignore guidance. And without correction, mistakes repeat. Repeated mistakes destroy long-term success. The third way ego destroys success is through overconfidence. Overconfidence without preparation creates failure. Ego says, you don't need practice. You will handle it easily. You are naturally talented. But talent without discipline is unstable. Preparation creates confidence.
Ego avoids preparation.
And lack of preparation leads to disappointment. Another silent danger is damaged relationships. Success is not built alone. It requires teamwork, support, partnership. But ego creates conflict. Ego wants control. Ego wants to be right.
Ego refuses compromise.
Slowly, people distance themselves. And without strong relationships, success becomes fragile. Ego also creates comparison. It constantly compares achievements. It wants validation. It wants applause. Instead of focusing on improvement, ego focuses on superiority. Superiority mindset reduces collaboration. Collaboration builds opportunity. Opportunity builds success. Another powerful danger is fear of looking weak. Ego avoids asking for help.
Ego avoids admitting confusion.
Ego avoids learning from others. But asking for help is strength. Admitting mistakes is growth. Learning from others is intelligence. Ego blocks all of this. And slowly, you become isolated. Isolation weakens progress. Another important truth.
Ego reacts emotionally.
If someone criticizes you, ego reacts with anger. If someone succeeds, ego reacts with jealousy. Emotional reactions destroy clarity. Clarity builds success. When your mind is calm, you make better decisions. When ego controls you, decisions become emotional. Emotional decisions often lead to regret. Ego also makes success temporary. You may win once. You may achieve something big. But if ego grows with success, discipline decreases. And without discipline, success fades. History shows this clearly. Many talented people failed. Not because of lack of skill, but because of uncontrolled ego. Remember this clearly. Ego does not shout, "I will destroy you." It whispers, "You are already enough." It whispers, "You don't need advice." It whispers, "You are superior." And slowly, it closes doors. Real strength is not ego. It is humility. Humility keeps you learning. Learning keeps you growing. Growth keeps you winning. If you want long-term success, control ego early. Stay calm. Stay teachable. Stay disciplined. Because success built on ego is unstable. But success built on humility is unbreakable. Lesson 3. How to control your ego and build true confidence. Controlling ego does not mean becoming weak. It does not mean losing self-respect. It does not mean allowing people to disrespect you. It means balancing confidence with humility. Real confidence is calm. It does not need to prove. It does not need to argue. It does not need validation. Ego needs validation. Confidence does not. The first step to controlling ego is self-awareness. Notice your reactions. When someone corrects you, do you feel angry immediately? When someone succeeds, do you feel jealous? When someone disagrees with you, do you feel attacked? These reactions show ego. Pause. Observe. Do not react instantly. The second step is learning to listen more. Most ego-driven people talk too much. They want to show knowledge. But strong individuals listen carefully. Listening builds understanding. Understanding builds wisdom. Wisdom builds respect. When you listen fully, you learn something new. Learning weakens ego. Growth strengthens confidence. The third step is accepting mistakes quickly. Saying I was wrong is powerful. It shows maturity. It shows emotional strength. It shows self-control.
Ego avoids apology.
Confidence accepts correction. When you admit mistakes, people trust you more. Trust builds strong relationships. Strong relationships build success. The fourth step is focusing on improvement, not superiority.
Ego compares.
Confidence competes with itself. Instead of thinking, am I better than others? Ask, am I better than yesterday? Self-competition builds growth. Comparison builds insecurity. Another powerful habit is practicing gratitude.
Gratitude reduces ego.
When you remember that success is not only your effort but also support, opportunity, and timing, you stay humble. Humility keeps your mind open. Open mind attracts opportunity. The fifth step is staying a student. No matter how much you achieve, always remain teachable. There is always something new to learn. Ego says, I know enough. Confidence says, I can learn more. Learning keeps you sharp. The sixth step is separating self-worth from performance. If your identity depends on winning, ego grows strong. But if your identity depends on growth, confidence stays stable. Failure does not break you. Success does not inflate you. Balance creates stability. Stability creates powerful presence. Another important truth. True confidence is quiet. It does not need to interrupt. It does not need to argue loudly. It speaks calmly. It responds thoughtfully. It acts consistently. Ego reacts quickly. Confidence responds wisely. Another powerful exercise is daily reflection. At night, ask yourself, did I react with ego today? Did I listen fully? Did I accept correction? Self-reflection reduces ego over time. Remember this clearly. Ego wants to win arguments. Confidence wants to win growth. Ego wants to look strong. Confidence wants to become strong. Ego is fragile. Confidence is stable. When you control ego, you build true inner power. You become respected. You become mature. You become reliable. And people naturally trust and follow those who are confident but humble. That is real strength. That is real aura. That is real success. Lesson 4. Humility, the real secret behind long-term success. In the end, ego loses. Humility wins. Ego may help you feel powerful for a short time, but humility helps you grow for a lifetime. Humility does not mean thinking less of yourself. It means thinking of yourself less. It means understanding that you are strong, but still learning. It means knowing that you are capable, but not perfect. Humility keeps your mind open, and an open mind continues to grow. The first reason humility creates long-term success is because it keeps you teachable. The moment you think you know everything, growth stops. But when you stay humble, you keep improving. Improvement compounds. Small daily improvements create big long-term success. The second reason humility is powerful is because it strengthens relationships. People respect humble individuals. They feel safe around them. They trust them. Trust creates opportunity. Opportunity creates growth. Ego pushes people away. Humility brings people closer. and success often depends on strong connections. The third reason humility wins is emotional control. Humble people do not react aggressively to criticism. They evaluate. They think. They adjust. Adjustment improves performance.
Ego reacts emotionally.
Emotion blocks logic. Logic builds success. Another powerful truth. Humility protects you during success. When you achieve something big, ego whispers, "You are superior now." But humility reminds you, stay disciplined. Stay focused. Stay grounded. Grounded people maintain success. Arrogant people lose it quickly. Humility also reduces pressure. When you do not try to prove yourself constantly, you feel lighter. You focus on progress, not validation. Progress builds confidence. Validation builds insecurity. Another important lesson. Humble people learn from everyone. From juniors. From competitors. From failures. From mistakes. Learning from everything accelerates growth. Ego only learns from victory. And victory does not teach as much as failure does. Humility also builds inner peace. When you do not need to win every argument, you feel calm. When you do not need constant praise, you feel stable. Stability creates clarity. Clarity creates better decisions. Better decisions create success. Remember this clearly. The strongest people are not the loudest. They are not the most arrogant. They are not the most aggressive. They are calm, disciplined, open-minded, and humble. Ego says, "I must look strong." Humility says, "I must become strong." Ego wants attention. Humility wants growth. Ego creates short-term dominance. Humility creates long-term greatness. If you want to rise in life, control your ego early. Protect your humility. Stay teachable. Stay grounded. Stay hungry. Because real power is not in pride. It is in self-control. And when ego becomes silent, growth becomes unstoppable. Ego feels powerful, but it weakens you. Humility feels simple, but it strengthens you. If you want long-term success, control your ego. Listen more. Learn daily. Accept mistakes. Stay grounded. Because the real enemy is not competition. It is arrogance. Kill the ego. Protect your humility. Grow silently. Win consistently. If this lesson helped you, like this video. Subscribe to the channel for more powerful lessons that help you grow and improve your English at the same time. Remember, stay humble. Stay unstoppable.